Welcome back to the Surround Sound Podcast. I am your host, All Hunter Jr., the truth and not a rumor, and this is Basketball 101. Gotta let you know, make sure you go and holler at the sponsor, 901 Restoration Kings. You can get your car detailed, get it really looking really nice for the upcoming spring and summer months. You know, all that pollen, the sap, all of that stuff you don't want on your car, messing up your paint job, also deteriorating your headlights. So whatever you need, just make sure you go and holler at them. 901 Restoration Kings, and that's Kings with an S.com. Also, you can follow them on all social medias at that same handle, 901 Restoration Kings. We got all 8 matchups, and we're going to talk about all 8. I'm so happy, dude. First up, Jazz versus the Mavs. The Dallas Mavericks lead the series 3-2. Highlights. While Luka was away, the Mavs split the series with the Jazz. Luka's back now. He's playing out of his mind. Number 2. Spider Mitchell, he's out. So, who do I think is going to win? Well, let's think about it. Point guard for the Utah Jazz, Mike Conley. He's been non-existent. And as I just said, Spider is out. Brunson, guard for the Dallas Mavericks, has been playing out of his mind. And, yeah, Luka's being Luka. Yeah, they'll wrap it up next game. Mavs in 6. Mavs in 6. Next up, 76ers versus the Raptors. Okay, Philly started 3-0. Then, Mr. Embiid's, the big fellas, hurt a ligament in his thumb. Well, I don't know where James Harden is. Might have to send Carmen Sandiego to find him. And now, the series is 3-2. Will it go 7? Could they even lose to the Raptors, them being the Philadelphia 76ers? Well, I think they'll win in 6. One more game, Harden will come to play, then they'll put the hand on ice for Mr. Joel Embiid. Next series, Pelicans versus the Suns. At the beginning of this series, I'd probably like 98% of the world thought that it was going to be the Suns, about 5, maybe 6 games. The series is tied 2-2 now. Devin Booker is out for 2 to 3 weeks. And McCollum and Brandon Ingram are really like the best 2 players in the series right now. If they got Mr. Zion Williamson to be able to play, it may be even, more looking toward the Pelicans' way than it already is. Well, they still got CP. The Suns do. Aiden has been playing very well, and both Cams are doing extraordinary. I see this one going 7, and I'm going with the Suns. Next up, ATL versus MIA. Well, speaking of MIA, Mr. Butler is out, so he'll be missing in action. Trae Young is still a beast. Once they get some real true players around him and get a Pippen to his Jordan, we'll see some advancements with the Atlanta Hawks. However, right now, the series is 3-1. I see Miami winning in 5. Well, next up, another 3-1 series is Denver is down to the Warriors. Okay, highlights. Chef Curry is off minute restriction. Jokic has played well enough to not get swept. And Mr. Poole, well, he's now probably going to be coming off the bench, so you got your rotation is crazy for the Golden State Warriors. They'll win in 5. Well, the Bulls versus the Bucks. Let me just say this. Giannis Antetokounmpo is playing possessed right now. The dude I'm talking about wherever he wants to do on the floor, whatever spot he needs to get to, he can do it. At least against the Bulls. Well, Zach LaVine is going to be in COVID protocol. Lonzo Ball is already out. It looks like the Bucks are going to wrap this thing up in 5. Yeah. It looks like they're going to wrap that up in 5. Okay. The Nets swept by the Celtics. If you're like me and you looked at the game with any type of keenness, a lot of things looked off about the Celtics. I'm sorry, about the Nets. The team played with no cohesion, but we understood it because the team hasn't really played together a lot. You can blame whoever you want to blame on that. But the thing that I couldn't understand and wrap my head around was the fact that in like game 3, KD only took 11 shots. He turned the ball over like 17 some odd times in the series. Like, that's the part of the game that I did not understand. Like, I get it. The coach has to put you in situations and whatever the coach, tells you to do, that's what you got to do. But if the coach didn't tell Kevin Durant to shoot more than 11 times, something is wrong. We already knew defense was not going to be their strong suit, because defense, when it comes to defense, you take on the persona of your coaching staff, of your head coach. Steve Nash has never been known for defense, people. I said all that to say, I think Steve Nash needs to be on the way out. And this is knowing that he hasn't had the best, he's had tough sledding, so to speak, when it comes to the last 2 years of coaching. I mean, he's had Corona, he's had coronavirus. He's also had players not wanting to play for him, not wanting to play for the team, whether it been because of the getting the shot or wanting to be traded. Hey, I get all that. But that may be the reason that they needed a more tenured coach in the first place. You gave a guy keys to the Porsche, so to speak, that had never driven a Porsche. Never been a head coach on any level. Never been a coach on any level. I digress. Lastly, the Grizz versus the Timberwolves. After game 1, I kind of knew that the Timberwolves were shook. They won the first one, no doubt. The second game is an abomination. Those 4 referees, 5 referees, 3 referees, however many referees refed game 3 should be fired. They should have been fired at halftime, at the end of the third quarter, at the end of the game. Today, yesterday, tomorrow, they should be fired. Well, the series is tied 2-2 now. Grizz in 6. We'll be back with more on the Surround Sound Podcast. That was NBA news and Basketball 101. Make sure you come back after this break. I have completely messed up the entire thing, but we're going to keep it right here as it is because I want you to see my mistakes so you can love me a little bit more. Next up, Sign of the Times.